Hi, today I would like to talk about my past as a mental patient, my past within psychiatry, how I experienced psychiatry, and what I can see now that can be changed or needs to be changed with psychiatry, what is wrong with psychiatry, you might say. Obviously, there is lots of wrongs with psychiatry because look at society, look at this world, look at what's happening. So, one of the most basic or fundamental things you could say about psychiatry or the system in general, but psychiatry is a leading position within this, is the fact that we use to call our mind to be something that is not. For instance, when I was in psychiatry back in some 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, there was a priest at the hospital. Being able to talk to a priest about certain conditions with being a patient. So if you look at the church, then the church and the religions say that they interpret the mind as the God, you might say. They interpret the mind and the ego and all those things about the mind as to be divine, as to be a godliness, you might say, to be holy, you might say, sacred and divine, and to be the God. And therefore it's no wonder why people say that it was a voice in my head from God, right? It was Jesus talking to me, it was God talking to me, right? That's how we are taught from upbringing. While the truth of the matter is that yes, we have been under control of the heaven existence and the creators of existence, but we as humans have been living under control of our own minds. Our minds have been directing our everyday or every move, you might say. Heaven existence and the creators of existence have been the owners back in the days. That is no more. Now it's only up to us humans to take responsibility for our own lives, our own living. We as humanity must now, as we have, you might say, hacked into the old heavens and the creators of existence, and now we as humans stand to take responsibility for ourselves, forgive ourselves, and change this world once and for all. As we see, we have been living as slaves from within mind consciousness system. We have been living as slaves to energies and so on within our mind consciousness system. So basically you could say that psychiatry does not really deal with the full extent, or it doesn't understand or doesn't dare to speak up about the full capacity of mind consciousness system. Psychiatry does not dare or want or know how to speak about the professors, the psychiatrists, the doctors, the psychologists does not have the balls or the insight to really speak about mind consciousness system because and the extent of it within the human experience, because it is wide, it is deep, and it has been going on for eons of time. So basically when you come to a hospital, a mental hospital, you know, when I came to a mental hospital in 2003, I had no I had no experience or know-how what I was going to be doing there. I had no training in talking to a psychiatrist. I had no training in psychiatry whatsoever. I had almost zero training in basic psychological terms. There was nothing for me that I could, you know, when I came in there, I was 25 years old and I had no idea what this was. And therefore my mind created this fictional, imaginative reality of what was going on with me. When I first came into a mental hospital in 2003, my mind would create this, what is this strange place, world within my mind? Like this, ooh, what is this place of psychiatry? Ooh, this is new to me, I don't know this. What a, wow, ooh, wow, experience. Because that was how I was reacting to it. I was reacting to it because it was new. I had no training whatsoever in facing psychiatrists, doctors, psychiatry, hospitals, psychologists, whatsoever. So I did not have a vocabulary. I did not have the self-trust, the self-confidence, nothing. So what is wrong with psychiatry goes way, way into also the churches we have, the schools we have, the parents we have, the family structure we have, the ordinary, everyday things between humankind, where we are not prepared whatsoever for things that could occur. We don't have vocabulary, we don't have the self-trust, we don't know how to handle talking to a psychiatrist. So, for me, I would say that we need to start learning about the mind consciousness system of that we live with. We need to really bring it down to earth, bring it down to rootedness, to ground, to say that, okay, I have a mind. Some tell me that it's the God, you know, what the fuck. Some tell me that it's God. Some tell me that it's the whatever God name. But you know, it is a mind, you know. So even though it's invisible and you can't really, you know, feel it, it is there, very much there. It's very much presence with its consciousness, subconscious, and unconscious mind. You know, it is very much within our presence, within our experience. We cannot deny for that. So this is a tiny piece of the puzzle that needs to be changed within psychiatry. But it's a very, in the big picture, because it's a very important piece, because, you know, a lot of the infrastructure of psychiatry we need. A lot of the infrastructure of psychiatry we still need. Most obvious. But the fundament of it, the fundament of psychiatry, we need to change. And I'm talking about inequality of income, for instance. Why should a doctor have a million kroner income while I have almost scraps? Why is that? There is no common sense in that. There is no reasoning for that. There is no reason why I should have scraps and doctors should have 1 million. There is no obvious reason for that whatsoever. No, there isn't. I need money just as much as he or she does, equally. So, that is an issue we need to sort out. And also about vocabulary, giving our children a real proof and sound vocabulary of these things. That is a responsibility that we must take on, to give our children a real vocabulary to understand the challenges they might face. So, psychiatry, there's many ways we need to change the fundament of psychiatry. The drug culture, the inequality of money, the therapy. We need much more therapy, obviously, and develop self-responsibility, self-communication, talking to self, writing to self, expressing self, learning who am I in my core as my physical grounded being. Learning who we are in the core of our human self, who we are as beings. Learning why are we here on this planet, and why are we above the monkeys and the cats and the dogs and the plants? Why are we more advanced than elephants, than the rhinos? Why? Really, really boil it down and see why we as humans are living on this earth. What is our purpose? Why are we here? Who brought us here? All of these questions we need to dwell on and really give time and consideration and open up new doors to see that, okay, there was a heaven existence, there was creators of existence, and so on and so on. Because obviously what we see here is created, so there must have been some creators, right? So, finding that common sense, that rootedness, that groundedness, I recommend to investigate, give time, and give study to destiny.org, articles and videos. We as humans all carry a mind, a box unit, and we cannot deny for that, even though we might call it God or whatever, it is still a freaking mind. And to hide from that fact that it's just a mind and that we're all carrying it is like, just self-deceit, self-beliefs, lies. So psychiatry, we need psychiatry, we need the infrastructure of psychiatry. It is a lot of it. We can change a lot of the therapy, a lot of the drug culture, but also the fundament of it. Where we need to give people real vocabulary about what they're going through. Understanding of their diagnosis. And, things like in a new money system. And ways to open up self, to write out self, to be self-honest. Learn self-honesty. To learn to forgive the self. Because if I am to heal, it comes from here. If I am to heal myself, it comes from freaking here. Okay? So, that is some perspective about my history within mental hospital. Brief outline. And, hope you can enjoy it. And thank you and see you around.